Chapter 1111 is going to be huge for Zoro, and it won't be just him defeating Rob Lucci after 6 months. In the previous chapter, we saw Saturn summoning all 5 Gorosei on Egghead, and one of the most anticipated opponents for Zoro, Saint Nejuro, will arrive as well. Why Chapter 1111 exactly, and why is it connected to Zoro? There are a lot of reasons for it. First, we all know that Oda loves to play with words, numbers, and chapter titles. In past years, we've seen that he especially loves to play with bounties. For example, in chapter 957, the bounties of all the Yonko as well as Whitebeard and Roger were revealed, and they all had a pun on their bounties' meaning in Japanese. Numbers from Kaido's bounty, 110, form the word Hyakuju, which means beasts. 4 and 6 in Whitebeard's bounty create Shiro, meaning white. Roger's 6, 4, and 8 sound like Rogia, and so on. Another example is the Cross Guild. Mihawk's bounty is 3,590,000,000 berries. 3, 5, and 9 sound like Mihoku. 8 and 9 in Buggy's bounty sound like Bagi. The same goes for Crocodile. Kuroko from 9, 6, and 5. Zoro was incredibly impressive in the Wano arc, and we got to see him fight against some of the strongest people in the country. In the raid of Onigashima, Zoro first clashed against Kaido and successfully managed to put a scar on his chest. Later, he fought against King, the strongest of the all-stars of the Beast Pirates. Zoro versus King was certainly an impressive fight where he learned to tap into the true potential of his powers and, at the same time, mastered Enma as well. After the events of Wano, his bounty shot up to being the second highest in the crew and finally passed the billion berry mark. Zoro's current bounty is 1.111 billion berries. Zoro's bounty could have been even higher and it would still have made a lot of sense as he defeated a character with a bounty of 1.390 billion berries. However, there is a specific reason for Oda choosing 1.111 billion berries as his bounty, which has to do with Zoro's birthday, which is November 11th or simply 1111. This is also why Sanji's bounty is 1.032 billion berries, as his birthday is on March the 2nd, or 032 on the Japanese calendar. Luffy's numbers are 5 and 6, Go and Mu, because of his devil fruit Gomu Gomu no Mi. Luffy's number during the Korita Coliseum tournament was 0556. In chapter 556, Luffy arrived at Marineford, and it started probably the best arc for both Luffy and One Piece fans. As you see, Zoro's number is 1111, so we must expect something big in that chapter. Either he will have a badass moment, or this chapter will start an epic moment for Zoro. We will talk about it later, but before that, let's look at chapters 11 and 111. In chapter 11, Zoro had his first badass moment in One Piece against Buggy Pirates, and he also saved Luffy for the first time. In chapter 111, during the Whiskey Peak arc, after defeating 100 men single-handedly, Zoro saved Vivi, had another badass moment, and fought Mr. 5, which led to some big revelations, and I'm sure these revelations are connected to the Egghead arc as well. Oda has already played with these title names a few times during the Egghead arc. Most of you probably remember the title combination in chapter 1106. The title of chapter 116 was The Giants, and the title of chapter 1106 was On Your Side. In combination, we got The Giants on Your Side. If you combine the titles of chapter 1108 and chapter 1118, you get Attention World, Someone's Out There. The title of chapter 111 is The Secret Criminal Organization. This already hints at the Gorosei and Imu's existence, but there are way more connections. Ms. Valentine said that the boss's exact words were, "My secret is out." Surprisingly, 1,000 chapters ago, the secret existence of the main antagonist of the Alabasta arc was revealed. And now, Vegapunk is going to reveal something big, most likely shocking information about the Void Century and Imu. Mr. 5 and Ms. Valentine were sent from Baroque Works, a nice parallel to 5 Gorosei and Kizaru. Igaram explained that Baroque Works was a secret criminal organization and not even a soul in it knew what the boss looked like. Among the members of Baroque Works, Robin was the only one who had seen Crocodile's face. In this case, only the Gorosei know what Imu looks like. Igaram also said that Baroque Works' main goal was to create a utopia. We don't know what Imu's goals are, but it seems that Imu tries to create a utopia as well. Of course, Imu is the villain, so her utopia is not not the utopia that we imagine. Maybe Imu already created one 800 years ago, because as Igaram mentioned, the boss of the Baroque works had promised the members high positions in that utopia. What if Imu promised the Gorosei the same thing 800 years ago, then achieved her goal, and that's why the Gorosei have the highest rank in the world right now and Imu is still in the shadows. In many major arcs, there has been a timer for Luffy to defeat the enemy. Now that Luffy is a top tier, it's the other way around. The Gorosei have 10 minutes to defeat Luffy, the other Straw Hats, and stop Vegapunk from revealing the world's secrets. In the remaining 10 minutes, we will witness a few clashes between the Straw Hats and the Gorosei. The Straw Hats are not currently strong enough to defeat all 5 Gorosei. Even if someone appears to help the crew, I'm sure the Gorosei won't exit the story so soon. So their main goal for now must be to stop the Gorosei. I think Zoro defeating Lucci will be off-screened, and in chapter 1111, Zoro will have an epic entrance in a fight against the 5 Elders with Saint Nejuro as his opponent. Saint Nejuro is most likely inspired by a yokai similar to Saturn, and it is a complicated one. Most likely he has the Enenra yokai devil fruit. Enenra is a yokai made up of wisps of smoke. As the smoke rises, human-like faces appear and disappear in its form. Contemporary yokai scholars have also pointed out that this yokai's name sounds like the name Enma, the Lord of Hell and Judge of the Dead. We know that Zoro's sword is called Enma, so seeing Zoro cutting smoke, in other words, cutting nothing, will be interesting. To be able to cut nothing will be a good parallel to Zoro's master Koshiru's words that were shown in Zoro and Mr. One's fight. There are theories gaining traction that Vegapunk's message is not being broadcast from Egghead and it's coming from another place. The most relevant one is O'Hara for many reasons. This is a topic for another video, but if it's true, we have these 10 minutes just to see the power levels and abilities of the Gorosei and compare them to the Straw Hat's current strength. I believe Zoro and Nejuro will clash and test each other's abilities. In chapter 909, we also saw that Zoro named himself Zorojuro in Wano. As you can see, Zorojuro is very similar to Nejuro. We can count that as another hint. I don't think either of them will lose the fight at Egghead. Most likely Zoro will defeat Nejuro at the end of One Piece. Another reason for Zoro to have a badass moment is his passivity in this arc. He has done nearly nothing. He had a little clash with a Seraphim at the start of this arc and started fighting Lucci 6 months ago, and he's still fighting him. Lucci is not a weakling either. He is the strongest CP0 member with an awakened devil fruit, but still, this fight is too prolonged. During that period, Luffy fought Kizaru, ran out of energy, regained energy, and fought him again. Saturn arrived, got punched by Kuma, later killed Vegapunk, and again got punched by Luffy. Usually Zoro always has some badass moments in every arc, but this is an exception surprisingly. That's why I believe Oda has been saving Zoro for something great. Jinbei went to help Zoro 2 chapters ago, and the Gorosei have just arrived. These two events align perfectly for Zoro to have a great entrance in this fight. That's it for today. Let's wait for chapter 1111. And before that, if you're interested in the devil fruit powers of other Gorosei, you can watch this video right here. Thanks for watching.